Hola, hola, ¿cómo estás? Todos. What's up, everyone? Um, how you guys doing? This is another episode of Gun See My Friends, the podcast where we just kind of watch old movies, talk about them, movies that affected us. So this week was a request from Scotty Boy over here. We got Scott Taylor joining us as a guest. How you doing, Scott?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm ready.
Nice. And as usual, we got Toby here. How you
Good
doing,
morning.
Toby?
I'm great. It's
Toby's Maximus.
so great to have Scott here with us today.
Yeah. And the reason is because he requested this movie that, frankly, I hadn't seen in like maybe 20 years. Not even maybe even. I think the last time I saw it as a whole was probably in the 80s. Um, but of course, we're talking about the movie, the Walter Hill 1979 classic, The Warriors. Cling, 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 cling. Yeah, I haven't seen that movie probably since the 80s as a whole. And then afterward, I'd see like little bits here and there, or maybe a scene or two. But when was the last time you guys saw this movie? Have you seen it recently?
I personally haven't seen it. It's probably been 15 years, probably about 15 years or so. Every once in a while, it's like, oh man, the Warriors is so good. We got to watch it. And then you throw it on and then you're good for another dozen years. But I just picked up, there was a book released about kind of the filming of it and the background of the Warriors. And so I
Yeah.
picked that up at our local store and wanted to get through that. And thought it'd be a good movie to do because it's a classic. It's a fun movie.
Yeah.
It's really just popcorn movie right there. And I thought you guys would have fun talking about it.
Absolutely.
I agree. It's probably been the '80s for me as well. It's been a really long time, and I was a little. I went into it with a little trepidation because I'm like, boy, I hope it's as fun as I remember it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
boy, it's as fun as
Yeah.
I remember it. It's quick. I mean, the hour and 40 minutes goes by really fast, and it's just a fun romp, man.
Yeah,
It's
man.
silly, and yeah, it's good time.
Yeah, I mean, I think when Scott first suggested it, I was like, "Wow, dude, that I haven't seen that movie in a long time."
Hmm.
And like you, I was like, "Oh, I wonder if it's gonna hold up."
Yeah.
And I put it on, and from the credits, I was like, "Oh yeah," because this reminds me so much. This is more of like a '70s movie to me, or the epitome of a '70s, like late '70s exploitation type of fun little like it's a mix of like exploitation and I don't know, like drama or something. I don't know what it is, but it's got this like on the veneer of it is like it's like a B movie, but where when you think about where it came from, the story, it's something way deeper, especially the what was it called? Sol Uric. He wrote this book called The Warriors and based it on this like Greek. I don't know if it's a tale or if it was some philosophical thing, but I mean, it's just fun to watch. I mean, it just
Hmm.
the music, the acting. Um, Scott, what was your first impressions when you see this movie?
I When I first saw it, I think I mean I was in my 20s by that point, so this wasn't like a teenage sleepover movie or anything like that.
Yeah,
I think I was well on my way to being who I am now, and it I think from the jump I was like, it's just fun. It's stylized. It's got a solid plot, and I've always been a video gamer, right?
yeah,
And so
Hmm.
this is almost like it's a video game movie, right? You
yeah,
have your intro where you're kind of learning when they get with Cyrus and they're going through the meeting, and that's kind of your training period where they're showing you what A does and what X does, and then after that you're off and running, and the plot is it's to get home, right? And so
Yep.
if that's not a video game plot, I don't know what it is. You're going
yeah,
through different levels, different bosses, mini bosses,
Yeah.
yeah,
finally getting to the end of the story. And I think that's what drew it to me even back then.
yeah. I mean, it's definitely that. Especially all the like you could tell like the levels of it's this gang and it's this gang and then it gets harder as it goes and Scott,
It gets
Toby,
it
what
gets.
was what was the first movie you saw by Walter Hill? Do you know or
Well, you'd have to list them for me because I haven't
okay?
really done the deep dive. Like,
Well, he did 48 Hours.
oh, he did do 48 Hours.
Yeah, he wrote
Well, I can look at it right here.
Streets of Fire, which I have somewhere in my one of these hard drives that I have. I I downloaded a bunch of
He's a
movies
handsome
back.
fella.
You wouldn't steal a car, Steve.
I'm a pirate, yay, or yee, or whatever they
Let's
say.
see. Let me go to directed by director. He's big
Walter
in with
Hill.
the Aliens,
Yeah,
Alien franchise.
his name is on the Alien franchise. He produced
Looks like all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, I don't know that he did Johnny Handsome.
yeah. Do you remember seeing that? Do you ever see that movie, Scott? Johnny Handsome?
No, I don't think I've seen that.
It's about this
Okay.
dude who who was it in there? He was anyways, he's this guy that is really disfigured, and he goes in and I guess he was with he's this mob type guy or gang type of guy, and he gets his face fixed and starts to like revenge on all the gang or whatever. I can't remember the plot, but it was something I saw when we used to have movie theaters, and you would go and see a movie on Thursday night or Friday night or something. But anyways, let's get back to
So to answer your question, this is an easy one for me now that I see the list. Brewster's Millions would be my favorite movie of his, directed by. I've seen that so many times. I love that freaking movie so much.
I've never seen that movie.
What?
I've never. Wow. Yeah. Have you seen it, Scott?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah,
I've seen it. I've referenced it. Yeah.
I've seen John Candy and Richard Pryor's in it.
Yes.
I always get mixed up with The Toy. Do you remember watching The Toy?
Oh, The Toy is great too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and everybody kind of shits on that movie because they're like, "Oh, that was the Richard Pryor's ball." And I guess with critics, it's probably true, but I always
problematic in parts. I mean, it's
that's all I remember from it.
So you mentioned this is like the typical or the prototypical. The first thing I wrote in my notes was, this is the quintessential New York 1970s grimy look to it. Like you said, it's got that patina to it where you're like, I mean, it looks like it's really smoggy and it's dirty. It's got
dirty.
The 70s in New York. This was a very dangerous time in New York. Really, really dangerous.
Yeah.
There were a lot of gangs. They had problems filming this movie because of the gangs would come and steal their gear.
Yeah, yeah.
And they had to hire some of the gangs to protect them from the other gangs while they were filming it. It's wild.
Yeah. Well, this was a movie for me. I remember seeing it probably mid to late 80s, and it was like my uncle had rented it, and
your uncle is good, shows you some of the best movies, man. I just gotta say, your uncle's the man.
I probably shouldn't have been seeing half of the movies that I had watched, but I mean, I probably saw this at 7 or 8, and just at that time when you're especially in the 80s, you're watching movies like this and you get that sense of New York and where it was at that time. Like you said, Toby, it was like really a grimy time in New York.
Mm-hmm.
It was really high crime. It was literally like, filled with garbage and
they had the garbage strike.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
So, I mean, this you're right. I think this is kind of the quintessential 70s kind of movie, but it's just a fun romp too. I mean, it's just it was so great. I remember I texted both of you, I think, at one point. It was like, I forgot how fun this movie is.
Yes.
Let's see. What else, Scott? What else you got? What does this movie kind of bring to light when you watch it?
Well, it's definitely New York in the time, right? But it's taken to 11. It's got an element of like fantasy and sci-fi to it when it comes to the characters in it. So it's almost like you take these people and just drop them into this location, and they're maybe a little bit from the future, a little bit of a different timeline maybe, and they're dropped into this environment. But it was a troubling shoot for them all. And one thing I found interesting about the backstory of it, two things. Number one, Tony Danza potentially being in it would have just changed the whole thing, right? Like, thank God he went off to Taxi. But number two, they filmed it pretty much sequentially.
Yeah, that's what
which
I heard.
I'm sure we'll get into the middle of the movie, and they fire somebody out of it, but they do it sequentially, so it's really interesting to think about filming a movie that way and not
Uh-huh.
okay, these scenes are this day and these scenes are this day and jumping all around.
Right,
They were
right.
able to change things on the fly and kind of maneuver their way through any hurdles that they hit.
Well, that was, when I was watching it, it was kind of it reminded you of what you could do with a limited budget, and what, the kind of, I forget how long they took them, but they were working, like they said they were working 7 hour or 7 days a week, every day. And but you can see it, but in a good way. Like, you can see the creativity that a smaller budget takes. And this kind of reminded me of the Terminator, the first Terminator. I know me and Scott
Yeah.
kind of go back and forth on this, but like, it just had that grit, it had
Yeah.
that creativity that came out of, lack of budget or lack of time too. And you have, in those moments you have to be creative, but and you kind of saw all that, like, in every shot, and it looks good too, like the way they filmed it. And you think about, like, oh man, they had such a small budget, but it doesn't feel that way, and it does at the same time. It's weird. It's a really cool dynamic. But just so the people watching and listening here, if you don't know what the movie's about, it's a little
Yeah.
little plot overview here. Is all the gangs of New York gather in the Bronx for a summit led by Cyrus of the I don't know if I'm saying this
Gramercy.
right. Gramercy.
Gramercy,
Okay,
yep.
riffs. He
Gramercy
proposes a
riffs.
truce in uniting all the gangs. And while he's doing this, is in the beginning, and all these gangs are in this park listening to this one guy. And
And Cyrus is like Martin Luther King meets Vince McMahon, right?
yeah, oh,
Like
exactly.
that's exactly who he is. He's trying to bring people together, but he's a showman at heart. Yeah.
Right. And I think what's I can't remember his name. Damn it, I didn't write it once. Do I have
Who are
it?
you thinking of?
The guy.
Oh, that's Luther.
Luther.
That's right. Because this is his name in 48 hours as well. Luther, this guy from this other gang, ends up shooting him in front of everybody. I don't know how
Yeah.
you can miss that, and blames it on the Warriors. And now the Warriors are how many miles? Like 27 miles or something away from their home turf. And they got to go
Yeah.
back with all these gangs after them. And which is really interesting too about that is that these gangs, even though they're in the streets and all, they have an infrastructure to all these
They
gangs.
really do.
They have buses, they have cars, they have weapons, they have costumes. I mean,
They've cost a lot of costumes.
it was such a cool thing to see too, because when I saw this as a kid, I would always just be, oh wow, this is what it's like to be a gang. And because I remember watching this and thinking, like, this is so scary and violent.
Right.
And now you watch it now, and there's even the fighting is stylized in this movie, and so that was part of the fun of it. Anyways, who is your guys' favorite gang in the movie? Do you have one?
I have one. Scott, can you pick? Because you probably love them all like children, right?
Yeah,
love them all, but a little different.
Each one has their little quirks, right? Like, the Baseball Furies has to be the standout, right? Like, it's the standout of the whole thing. You got the Yankees pinstripes, which screw the Yankees.
Right.
But then you have the Kiss makeup themed off of Kiss, and they wanted to bring those two things kind of together for this environment. They don't say anything. Just them walking up the stairs, each just grabbing a bat off of the armory shelf. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you've got other people. You've got the punks, right? In the bathroom scene. If you had to picture a gang called the Punks, it would not be these guys.
That's true.
What's punk about roller skates and overalls, right?
Is that what they were called, the Punks? I thought they were called the Farmers Market. I'm like, what is going on? I forgot about these guys near the end, the overalls gang. Oh my god. I was with the Lizzies, dude. I thought the Lizzies probably terrified me more than anybody else. They
You
were
kind of
like the
knew something was
sirens,
up.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, they lured these guys in, got
Mhm.
them into a false sense of security, and then the freaking switchblades come out,
And
and
the
a lot of
gun.
switchblade action in the '70s. Switchblades were real big.
I,
Oh God, lots
you
of
know, it
switch.
was a time. It
Yeah,
was a time when you fought hand to hand. Maybe a
that's right.
blade would come out, but guns were kind of the rarity. Like the Lizzies had a gun,
Yes.
but you notice it was just one person that had the gun. So it seemed like back then it was more. I don't want to say honorable because nothing honorable about what they're doing, but there just seemed to be this understanding of like, all right, let's go kind of hand to hand, mano y
Yeah.
mano.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like that movie that recent one, the bike riders with yeah,
Oh,
Jesus.
I need to see that. That looked good.
Oh, okay. I don't want to say the end then, but
Okay.
that ending of that movie kind of highlights the turn into kind of the gun leading with the gun instead of leading, because in this movie, all the gangs, they have bats and shit, but
Right.
it was more of, this kind of tribalness kind of thing where it was like you stuck together and then you went after certain people and you fought them
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
the baseball gang, like James Remar, what was his name, Ajax. He
Yeah.
was the hot-headed one. He was just like, screw this running, man, let's fight, and that was
Right.
kind of the overall. I think that I would say like gangs, and you needed a fight. What was that first gang that not the maybe it was
The Turnbull ACs were the ones where they were on the short bus.
right.
They were like Mad Max on the short bus. They just piled on top of that little, and yeah, and just driving real slow up and down the
Yeah.
street. Yeah, those are the Turnbull ACs.
Well, no, the ones that didn't go to the summit, and they were like,
Oh, the
"Hey, how come we
orphans,
didn't?"
Oh, the
Was it?
orphans.
the orphans in the green shirts and the blue jeans. Yeah, they were a little odd, huh? They might have been not from around here. I don't know. Maybe
Oh my god!
brother, little cousin action going on here. I don't know. It was a little odd. They all
They're
had
like
eyes kind of going different
Yeah,
directions.
they're like the
yeah.
That's
Timu version of the Warriors.
right. Yeah, exactly.
They made me laugh because
They're all, what? We didn't get to go.
hey, here's this newspaper clip, and see how bad we are. We're
Mhm.
really bad.
It's like that Norm Macdonald SNL skit with the Panthers and the
Yeah.
Cobras, and Sherry O'Terry plays a young boy. He's like, "Hey guys, they're coming to get us!" And it's like it's just a whole gang of those Sherry O'Terry character.
Well, it's like
so weird.
I was reading an article, and it was someone that said it was like West Side Story without the music,
Yeah.
without the songs, and I thought that was pretty on. What did you think about? Let's see, like the main characters, the I guess the people in the Warriors. Who was some of your or like who was your favorite character in the Warriors? Was it Swan, Ajax,
Mm,
Cleon, Snow, Cochise, Cowboy? You had Windows from the Thing. He was in.
that's right.
Yeah, Windows.
I'm an Ajax guy because I like James Remar. He's so good. He's in Welcome to Derry as
Yeah,
General Shaw,
yeah,
and he was in Dexter as
yeah. Dexter's father.
Dexter's father, mostly,
Yeah,
yeah. Force Ghost.
yeah.
Dexter's Force Ghost. He's great. I think he's probably had the career that's lasted the longest after this, from '79 to present. Swan's tough to like for me. I don't know, Scott. What do you think? Who do you? Is there anybody that you kind of glom onto out of any of these characters?
Yeah, it's I Vermin is fun, right?
Yeah, Vermin's
Vermin
fun.
is fun. You're like, he's just kind of the dumb, kind of goofy guy.
Yeah.
So it's easy to go with him. Swan's in a tough spot. Like Swan didn't want to be a leader. He was number 2,
Ooh.
right? And he was fine with being number 2. He wasn't like
Yeah.
Ajax, who was like, I want to be in charge and just waiting for his
Right.
moment. He was just supporting the crew by being number 2.
Yeah.
And he's a little rough in the middle, like when they're walking through the train tracks and he's talking to the female lead, and that whole thing is a little rough where he's standoffish with her, and but again, I think that's because he wasn't supposed to have that role with that female lead. That was supposed to be the person that was cut.
Yeah.
But Swan, I think Swan's just doing what he needs to do, and I can appreciate that with it. One thing I do think is really funny, and it's jumping around a little bit, is at the ending when he basically throws a knife with precision, right? And you're
So
like, where
good.
did this come from? And earlier in the movie, they do say something, just because you're good with knives, you're number
Yeah.
two. But there
Oh,
was a deleted scene at the very beginning that was like daytime, and
Yeah.
he was messing with
yeah.
Yeah.
knives, and he was, showing how good he was with knives and target practice type stuff.
Mm.
And so I think there was more to him with the deleted scenes and what kind of how it was intended, but then you get to them having to give him a lot of the lines from the other character, and it it,
Yeah.
it throws him
Yeah.
off a little bit.
Yeah, I think I was watching a documentary. I think it was probably part of some sort of DVD release or Blu-ray release. But I saw this documentary last night, and it had the original beginning was a warrior and some other girl, and they were having this conversation. Um, and it was during the day, and they showed like all the warriors lined up, and all right, you ready? Let's go. And the editor was like, "Dude, you have to cut this. Everything else is night time, and if you
Yeah.
start this in the day, then it just it just doesn't match well." So they went back and filmed some things, like some B-roll stuff, and has the intro that it has now. Um, oh shit, what was I going to say? I had something I was going to say after. Anyways, um, yeah, so let's see. We got the characters. We got what else here? What'd you think of David Patrick Kelly's Luther, the kind of what antagonist of this? Because he's shown up on a lot of like '80s movies and
Yeah.
probably the early '90s. But he in 48 Hours he played Luther as well, but he played the opposite of this one, which was kind of timid and meek. But the dude is short. There's a scene in Commando. Have that Arnold Schwarzenegger
Yeah.
movie
Yeah.
where he's walking with Arnold and some other dude, and these Arnold and the other dude are just towering over. I want to say that I don't want to say that he's like maybe like 5'6", 5'7". I mean, this guy is short. But what did you think of his performance in this? Was it believable?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, in the world that's created,
Yeah.
it's believable, right?
Yeah.
To me,
Right.
he's the Joker without makeup, right? He just wants the chaos there.
Absolutely.
He's saying that
Yeah.
everybody else is following these rules, and he's like, "What rules? Who made these rules? Why are we following these rules?" And so he's just doing what he wants. He's like, "No, this seems like it would be fun to do. Let's throw some chaos into the mix." He's not like, "Yeah, our gang's going to be the best and take over the whole city." He's just like, "No, let's just shoot this guy and see what
Yeah.
happens."
Yeah.
So
And
I love that about him.
there was that scene at the end. I mean, taking it to the end, but um, when you were talking about Scott when he throws the knife into thing, he does get a shot off. And if you see the coverage, you see him. There's people behind
Yeah.
Swan,
Yeah. I was
and so
wondering where that
you're
bullet
like,
went.
I was like, oh, they must have like juked it too, right at the last minute. But yeah, you're right. I mean, that's a really cool comparison to Joker without the makeup and stuff, because I mean, he acts just like him. It's just more of chaos, because he says, well, why did I don't can't remember exactly how, but they're like, well, why'd you do it? He's like, because I just do those type of things,
Mm.
and it's like
Yeah.
this kind of thing thrown into the mix just to kind of, like just mess things up, make everything more chaotic.
Yeah.
I
Some
I
men
Um,
just
I,
want to watch the world burn, right?
yeah,
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 I love to see villains. I love to hate villains like that. It's the type of villain I hate because it's the guy that's gonna put things on another person. Backstory: fifth grade, we had a substitute
Oh
teacher.
boy.
Okay,
here we
and
go. His
this kid,
origin story.
yeah, this kid Seth, uh, jockey kid, and I'm sitting next to him, and Seth goes, "Ow, hey, teacher Scott
Oh,
punched me."
Oh
And I look
no.
over like, "I didn't do anything." What? And the substitute teacher goes, "Well, hit him back." It's the look on this kid's face and his
uh-huh.
eyes, the glee of, "Oh my god, I got away with this. This is happening." As he pulled back to punch me in the arm. That's Luther to me.
Uh,
That is the villain in a nutshell. I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna do what I want, and I don't care if I'm gonna
yeah.
hurt this little, fifth grade nerd.
Well,
I love it.
you see when he's making that call, Luther's making that call, and they're raiding the can of candy bar. thing, and at the end, the girl's all, "Hey, you gonna pay? You gonna pay for those?" He's all, "What? Pay for what?" Kind of goes crazy. And for me as a kid, I remember seeing that and thinking, like, that is pure evil, man. That oh my god, like you just couldn't. Oh, I don't know. It was.
He's a
we have to talk,
psycho, and
yeah.
he's got the most punchable face out of everybody in the entire cast.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You
Yeah, I
just
wish I had
want to
that. I
give
wish I could
him
do that
one of
hair
these-
though with the bandana. Right. I wish I could do. I think it's just a little jealousy.
Well, he
Yeah,
was saying in that
I get it.
documentary. He was saying in that documentary, he was like, "Yeah, my mother saw me in this, and after the movie, she said, well, they made you look kind of tough." And I was like, "Well, shit, man! Like, yeah, he's crazy, crazy, crazy."
Well, just
Very
him as
crazy.
as an actor though, and in the movie, I mean, I feel like we have to talk about the pivotal, improv scene. That's the classic
yeah.
line from the movie, right? The
Well-
bottles clinking, warriors come out to play, like that. That was him. That was him
Yeah.
just improving. And before that, he had actually he was trying to figure out what to do, and so he's walking around set, and they give him a little space, and he found 2 dead pigeons, and he put them in a bag. And he took them over to the director and was like, "Hey, what about this?" And the director's like, "No, we're not doing that." And then eventually they get to the clinking of the bottles, and warriors come out to play, which is what everyone remembers.
Yeah, and that's such a classic scene. The people in the documentary, because they were interviewing some of the cast and obviously the director. Yeah, he was saying that he said that just the scene wasn't working, so he went over to him, and it was like, "Hey, just you gotta do something here," And so he saw David Patrick Kelly. He saw him right before they did the take. He saw him on the beach, just looking under the docks. He's like, "Oh Christ, was he?" And I think it's probably referring to that. And so he gets these bottles, and the story goes that he had a neighbor in real life.
Yeah.
That was like really his next door neighbor would be like, David, come out, David. It would scare the crap out of him. So that's what he said, that he just took that and he had the bottles, and that's where that came from. That's such an iconic scene. I mean, it's so surprising too that it kind of speaks to the greatness of this film, because again, a limited budget, limited time, and the idea that this movie in and of itself is still something that holds up today, but it's also that it has that scene in it that's just so, I don't know. It's probably my favorite scene in the movie. Speaking of favorite scenes, what are some scenes that stand out to you guys in this movie?
Ooh.
The
I like
the bathroom fight, right?
The bathroom
like
fight's tough, man. That's a tough one. It's a lot going on. They destroy that bathroom. These guys get messed up. Baseball bats are broken across guys' tummies. Just some of those hits you're like, boy, if that was a real bat.
Yeah.
No wonder these guys are literally piled up at the end of just a pile of what's the overall guys' names? The punks?
The punks, yeah.
Okay. I got to put that in I have overalls, gang.
That was
that
was the only set that they built for this movie. Was that bathroom scene. So they went to town. Yeah, that was the only set because they couldn't find a bathroom that was big enough to film in like that. But let's talk about a little bit of the fighting. It's very stylized. Each gang has its own little kind of style. I mean, you have the baseball gang has the bats, and dude, that fight scene that to me kind of stands out. That's a scene that really stands out to me because of that fight. It's very, I don't know, the documentary, the fight coordinator was saying that Walter Hill just went up to him and said, "Just give me a Kurosawa." And he was like, "Oh, all right." So there's a lot of samurai stuff, bats, and it's kind of like he did it as kind of like a dance, but also the boom, boom, because I mean, the fight scenes are very frantic. There were lots of close-ups, and you could tell that there was no like stand-ins. It was all the actors. I don't know. What'd you think about the fight scenes? I'll take it to you guys.
Well, somebody actually got pretty hurt in this. I think wasn't it the what not Lizzie, what's her name? Not Cleon. So, I don't have her name in here. She took a punch because they didn't
Mercy?
time it up. But yeah,
Oh,
she
okay.
took a punch at one point because there were no stunt people in this. They were doing all their own stunts and had to have stitches. And then through halfway, and to go back to what Scott's point was, where they were filming it in order, halfway through the movie, she's got a scar from the punch that she took literally earlier in the filming of the movie.
She also broke her wrist.
Mhm.
That's why she shows up. She shows up with that coat, you know. She's like, where'd you get that coat from? She's like, I stole it, but she broke her wrist, so they had to film around it. And then they were like, okay, we can't film around her anymore. So then they just put her in that thing, and then I worked for me, man. I bought it.
Yeah, can we talk about movies being a snapshot of a time and place?
Yeah.
Because one thing in the bathroom scene that I don't think kids nowadays will appreciate what we had to go through is the trough urinal.
The trough, yeah. Yep.
Right.
And just three guys lined up shoulder to shoulder, just
sometimes with
away.
ice.
Sometimes with ice to, help you out a little bit, but the trough urinal is like loud and proud in that scene. That's the one thing my eyes went to, and I was like, it's zoomed in on me, and I'm just like childhood fears going to Fenway Park, or even adult fears going to Candlestick, right?
Yep. Oh yeah.
Just I hope never again. Let's get those ribbons out there. Whatever. They'll probably be yellow, I guess. I know there's yellow is already claimed, but yellow ribbons
have you seen one in the last, like, I don't know, 20 years, 15 years?
Not since the A's left the Coliseum. They still had troughs at the Coliseum. That's just up to a couple of years ago. But that's the only place that I can think still has had troughs.
When the bars would have them, and they'd have the ice in them to cut down. I guess to cut down on the smell or something. But yeah, I mean, well, I mean, like watching this film, it kind of brought up in me, anyways, this idea that there's this. I guess when I was talking about the kind of the lower budget and kind of the not enough time, kind of the way they filmed this, was that there was a time when I think there's this kind of this point where the computers and online internet start to creep in, right? That's like in the mid 90s or maybe early 90s. I'm not sure exactly, but when people can't appreciate, or I don't think people appreciate the kind of times that we were in, and especially in this movie. Sorry, I'm taking so long to make the point, but of where everything is just so fast now, and everything is just so accessible now. But back here in this time, like, you only had 3 networks, you had maybe a handful of theaters in your town, and you really didn't have a lot of outlets to kind of do all these kind of. And this movie, when it came out, kind of raised a stir because of all the gangs wanted to go and see it, and then they would have gang fights in the theaters, and they had to pull it and all this and that. But I don't know. I guess I'm waxing poetic about the time that this movie came out, and like, oh man, I wish that we could see movies like this again. And maybe they're out there, and I just don't know. I'm sure they're out there, actually, but everything's digital now, and everything's a little more accessible and a little more easy to get around. But I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is that this was a cool time to be in movies and watch movies. And like me and Toby talked about, kind of this season of Gonna See My Friends, is like this idea, like the Howling, where you would have practical stuff, and you would have like one costume designer to do this whole thing. And I don't know, it was just this movie, I think, epitomizes all of that stuff. And what do you guys think about what I just said?
Are there any special effects in this? There's pyrotechnics. There's a lot of the Molotov cocktails are very effective. Yeah. Switchblades and Molotov cocktails are 2 weapons you don't really see used very often anymore. Chains, swinging bike chains around. You don't see that a whole lot
Jeez.
anymore. But are there any special effects in this? I don't think there are
No,
any digital
no.
effects. There's all
No.
practical effects.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think the only
just
thing
bare
they did
bones.
was at the end, the sunrise. They actually filmed that at sunset, but that's the only thing
Yeah,
that I can think of.
you can almost tell that it's a sunset rather than a
Yeah.
sunrise.
But yeah, I mean, let's talk about the music in this, because I think the music in this is really, me and Toby were kind of touching on it before we came on air. Let's see, hold on a second, let me pull
Well,
something up here.
I've had Joe Walsh in my head since last night. I love that song. And Joe Walsh is just freaking awesome, and it's a perfect song for the end of this song. You know, it's survival
Yeah,
in the city,
yeah,
and I don't know if I don't think he wrote it for. It's not an original song for the soundtrack,
I
is it?
think so. Yeah, because
Oh,
I think
okay.
one of the
Wow,
producers co-wrote it with him. But yeah, I mean, it,
that makes
it
sense.
reminds me of John Carpenter. It reminds me of that type
Yeah.
of music, and it also captures the late '70s, early '80s, which was the end of disco. But you still had that kind of feel to those songs, the orchestration and some, you know,
Yes.
it's just it's pretty. I don't know. I loved it. What do you think, Scott, about the music?
Yeah, it all fit, right? You can have some stuff, the movies where you're like, yeah, this is kind of out of place, or it's a product placement type song. This didn't
Yeah,
have any of that. Everything kind of fit with the vibe. It fit with the scene, and then that ending song just is chef's kiss.
dude,
Yes.
I love Joe Walsh, man. I love, yeah, and I forgot that was a part of the movie. So when it came on, I was like, "Oh, in the city, oh yeah,"
Hmm.
because that's one of those songs for me, anyways. That it's just the basics. It's a guitar, you know. I don't know.
Yeah,
It
it's two
just,
chords.
yeah,
He just gives you what you want, and it's
yeah,
pre Eagles.
yeah,
I think he joins the Eagles somewhere around this time, maybe a little bit after. The song that's playing during the fight with the Baseball Furies,
yeah,
I thought this is the Airwolf theme. You guys remember the show Airwolf?
yeah,
I love that
yeah.
show. It comes along. It's almost 10 years later, but the tune of it, I went, it was that Jan Hammer. I was like, trying to figure out who. It's not. It's Sylvester LeVay. I did have to look it up, but I think the Airwolf theme is stolen directly from the Warriors. I mean, put them side by side if
Yeah.
you want to do it at some point in there. That yeah, it's almost futuristic, that song, because it's kind of got that Miami Vice almost kind of feel to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Real early stuff though. So yeah, I liked that. I liked that song a lot too. I had to go back and watch that scene twice. I'm all, this is a jam, dude. This is a banger right here.
Yeah. I wonder if they have um the musicals, or not the score,
The
but the
soundtrack,
soundtrack on CD or something, because I'll pick that up. Then
nice.
you have the role of the DJ, you know, kind of like as the crier of the story. Um, you know, every time she cues up the song, it's like, you know, she's commenting on what's going on, keeping up the status. Oh, they just which is, again, speaks to the infrastructure of this whole gang thing in the movie, which, you know, they I always go back to, because the scenes every time the Warriors kind of get by a gang, you have the guy going up to the guy in the glasses going, "Oh, they just another gang just messed up and let them get away," and it was just again the infrastructure of this, like, this whole movie, or the whole setting, you know, of, I don't know, I just thought anyways. Yeah, you have the role of the DJ, and she's kind of got, you know, all right now, boppers, the big alert has gone out, the Warriors are on their way home, you know. That's just, I don't know,
Yeah,
it's
She's
awesome.
got the
it's the
eyes on everything.
it's the Greek chorus, right? If we go back to
Yeah,
the whole story and the premise of
Good
it's this
call.
all these Romans making their way back home to the sea, right?
yeah,
And
Yes.
she's the Greek chorus in vinyl form.
yeah, yeah,
And just, you know, when we talk about could this be made again today and stuff in the current times, no, you got cell phones, right? But this was the
Yeah.
way that
you
they
got
got all this.
Ubers.
Yeah, this is the way they got
Right.
all this information out then. It was, hey, listen to the radio and the
Right.
DJ is going to tell you what's going on in code.
Yeah, exactly. And I was going to bring that up later, but let's talk about it right now. Is that how different this would be now? If if you had somebody like you're talking about, let's say gangs, and probably you have at a certain point, like maybe what is it? That the movie John Singleton movie out in L.A. But
Escape from L.A.
no, the one with Ice Cube and
Boys in the Hood.
Boys in the Hood. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a totally different movie now. You couldn't,
Right.
if you were caught behind enemy lines, so to speak, and you're trying to get back and you have like 20, 30 miles to go. I mean, could it be made today, do you think?
Boy, you'd have to do it like,
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man, because they're the only way they're getting around is either walking or riding the subway. There's nothing else going on. They're talking about how there's 20,000 cops out looking for them. And you see a handful of them at one point or another. But anytime they're on the surface, they're in danger. They gotta go underground. They literally have to tunnel their way back to Coney Island from the Bronx. And I don't know if you know New York, the 5 boroughs that well. That's a long freaking way. It could take you all night if you're riding subway stop to subway stop and there's one train running. I mean, it wasn't like it is now where it was 24 hours back then, of course, but they had limited, you see how long it takes them to get from place to place. And at
they
some
have to
point they're
time
just
it
walking
too.
right.
Yeah.
And they gotta, and everywhere they go, there's another gang that are in somebody else's turf.
Well, it was like that.
Turf
They
is
said,
so
one of them saying
important.
like, you don't want to get caught on the train on the what is it on the waiting area? I forget what you call
the
that.
Platform.
Yeah, the platform.
Mhm.
You don't want to get caught on the platform by yourself, So they have to time each one. All right, the train's coming in. Let's go. And that's why in the first kind of chase of the movie, they're like, all right, the train's coming. We got to go. And then they start booking it. And there's a lot of running in this movie too. There's a lot of like, they have to like, and it's not like just sprinting. Jogging. They're sprinting like full out. And that, probably didn't take a lot of takes, but and just to do it once or twice. Well, that's the power of being in your 20s, I guess.
That's a good point. And can we just talk about just how shredded everybody is in this movie?
You got it, man. To be in the gang.
Half the cast is wearing just a leather vest and no shirt on.
Yeah.
And just absolute 8-packs, shredded. I mean, you're like, damn, these guys are all in really, really good shape. Everybody.
Yeah.
So well done to that. Well done. So yeah, I can see a lot. Can you guys mind going down to the end of this road and then running back down? No problem.
Yeah.
People are made of rubber.
Right. Cut. All right, back to one. Let's do that again. It's just like, oh God. Oh my goodness. But yeah, again, it's these guys were in their 20s. They had an interview or that documentary, but they were talking with Michael Peck, who played Swan. And he's kind of gray and his hair is longer, but to see him now, he still looks like he could, probably beat me up. Really.
There's a clip on YouTube of them it's a couple years ago of them like reuniting and going to Coney Island, and they're walking up the same steps. They're like, "Did we really climb these stairs back then?" They're like, "Age is a bitch."
I mean, now even I go on bike rides, go ride my bike, and I come back and I'm like, and then it was only like 20 minutes, but I go as fast as I can, but still, it's like, like, oh Jesus. I'm not growing old gracefully by any means. So, I'm not, man.
I'm so that's really. Can I just also one other thing? Before my doorbell rings,
sure.
The fight with the Lizzies. There's first of all, there's a whole lot going on in this scene, but then when the fight breaks out. The sweet unnecessary shoulder roll across the pool table is maybe my favorite part of the entire movie. I was just I forgot about it. It's so everyone else runs around the pool table, and I think it's Swan who'd or maybe Ajax, one of the two, does this full dive shoulder roll.
Oh,
It took
yeah, it
him
could be
more time
Swan.
to
He
do
wasn't
the
there.
shoulder roll
Yeah.
over the. I adore that spot in that. I'm like, they're firing at you, bro. You got to get. I mean, I appreciate that you're making a moving target, but.
Oh
That's
man.
my favorite. That's my Clay Thompson moment of the movie right there was that
Oh,
shoulder roll across the pool table.
that's what I was gonna kind of get
It's
into. Yeah.
cracking me up just thinking about it. It was so unnecessary. I love it so much.
We're talking about Clay Thompson. Do you got one there, Scotty?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the. It's not just one person; it's a gang. It's the hi-hats, and the hi-hats
Ooh,
were the white mime face with red jackets and top hats,
yeah.
and you see them at the beginning intro when they're on their way. You're
Yeah.
like, oh, I can't wait till these guys show up later and
Yeah.
bust them, and then they never show up. And you're like, where are the hi-hats? I want to see the dudes in the top hats and the face paint, the mimes. Like, I want to see them bust some heads.
Yes.
And they
Yes.
just never show up. But so they make such an impact just in the beginning.
Yeah.
They're complete lore.
Oh,
Well, mine
that's
is
true. It's
that's
like
that's
the
a good one.
Clockwork Orange crew, and you don't get
Oh,
it
that's
doesn't
right,
pay
those
off. You
guys.
don't get to see them again. You're like, these dudes would. This is the most terrifying group out of everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
That's a
it.
good one.
We never see them again. They went back to the where did they end up in the village?
That could be another story, right? That could be
Yeah.
like a spinoff
Yes.
where it's them trying to get home the other way, and it's just not as entertaining because no one's hunting them.
They're trying to get back to Montauk. I don't know. Oh my
shit.
God, so good. We got to get back to Ossining.
Yeah, anyways, mine real quickly. How about Mercedes Rule? She was the policewoman on the bench that gets Ajax.
Yeah.
She goes on to be in a lot of 80s and early 90s movies. The one I can point out, The Fisher King, she was Jeff Christ. Old
Jeff
man.
Bridges?
How come Jeff Bridges is a woman in that movie. And that scene comes out of nowhere. I mean, it's like I understand like the mechanics of the scene, but just having that, okay, we're gonna have Ajax, he's gonna get out of this movie, and it's just like, what? Yeah. But her showing up, she kind of gets a little felt up, and then she gets her revenge and calls the cop. You know, back now it's like, you know, they have the recording stuff. Oh, I'm all record, you know, for recording, but back then I remember the whistle.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that's my Clay Thompson. Yeah, that's
one thing I love about acting and people like that is that they give themselves the backstory that isn't on paper, right?
Yeah.
And the book I was reading said that she's like, I gave myself backstory where this was like her first time. This was her first sting operation.
No way.
And so that's why she kind of let it go in a little too far, and
nice.
she wasn't so sure of herself in it, but this was her first sting operation, and that's the backstory.
Yeah, because like she does this movie, and then she does in 87, she does The Secret of My Success, and she shows up in that movie as like a bartender or a waitress. Oh, you two need to be together, you know, one of those kind of just bit parts. Who probably the Clay Thompson award of that movie for me as well. But
nice, good call.
Yeah, we gotta do that movie. That's a fun movie to watch. But
that is.
Any final thoughts? Any final thoughts about this movie?
Oh boy,
Scotty.
I'm gonna go with a little bit about the ending, right?
Yeah.
Because they make it home, right? And spoiler alert,
yes.
They make it home, but when they get home, it's a tired, broken place, and they realize it. They've changed along their route, and they get back to home and they look at it differently.
Right.
You know, it's a deeply cynical ending disguised as a triumphant one.
Yeah.
It's probably the most relatable feeling in the world. It's like when you get back from vacation, your house smells weird, right? You're like,
no, I don't know.
This isn't the same as I remember it, you know, before this journey. And it's kind of it's like an Empire ending. It's a little sad. It's like you made it here, but you know, at what cost, and where do we go from here?
Yeah. Well, it's like It's like the Odyssey, you know, you can never go home again. Like even when you go home, it's never the same, you know, that
Yeah.
feeling. And yeah, he says it too. When he gets out, he's all, we went all night long just to
Yeah.
get back to this place or something
Yeah.
to that effect.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
you hear that disillusionment, you hear that thing of like, oh wow. And you're right. That's a good point. To your point about changing, you know, like you go through this journey, you go through this, you know, these challenges, and everybody does that in life. And so like you grow from those things. And so by the time they get back, they go through this whole thing and they're just like, what? It's just this.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that even when they're walking away on the beach, you know, I was expecting some sort of like fade out. And that's another thing we didn't talk about. The kind of like they would do wipes like Star Wars, beep,
Yeah.
kind of to give it that cartoon effect. But I was expecting one of those, you know, or fade
Yeah.
out or something. But it just keeps going and going, and then it freezes right when they come out from under that dune, or maybe they're going into the dune. I can't remember, but yeah, it's kind of that feeling of like it's not anticlimactic, but it's more of bittersweet. That's what I guess what I'm trying to say is like,
It
and you
does.
can
It does.
feel it.
You know, Stand By Me did that too. They get back from seeing the dead body, and they get back to town, and the town seems so much smaller now. And Gordy and Chris are just like, you know, they're
Good,
changed.
yeah.
They're
Oh,
completely
that's
changed
yeah,
people. And yeah, great point, Scott. It's and it hit home for me. They were like, we've been fighting for this, and they
yeah,
pans out over the rooftops, and you know, I like traveling. Where you been? Well, I've never been
yeah,
anywhere, but I know I'd like traveling. It's
yeah.
like, yeah, let's get
Exactly.
the hell out of here. It's time to
Yeah,
move on. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, that's fucking great, man. All right. Well, Toby, you got a brunch to get to. Let's
I
get you
do.
out
I
of
got a
here.
heart out, gentlemen. Let me know when you need me on whatever this is called, because I'll have some
Oh,
deep insights for you guys too. Do a little
okay.
crossover, but anytime you guys want. So, thank you, Scott. Great call on the
Yeah.
Warriors. I probably wouldn't have
Yeah,
watched it again. I did, you know, the Warriors. I do have a tendency to go to a Golden State Warriors game, about one or two a year, and they will play the clink clink clink
yeah,
Warriors. They will play that. That's where the Warriors chant came from with the "We Believe."
uh-huh.
The early 2000s years with the "We Believe." They were really playing that up back when they were in Oakland. Not so much now
Yeah,
that they're in San Francisco, because the whole crowd does the Warriors.
yeah, yeah,
But people kind of have always wondered, where did that come from? Came from this movie, and so
yeah,
it's still here in the Bay Area, still very much alive. So
yeah. Well, this
for our
movie
Polish
definitely holds
listeners
up.
and Hezekiah, you need to watch this too, bud. Um,
He's out
yeah,
milking right now. You know that,
he's
right?
probably got a switchblade. He's probably still in the switchblade era. No- Anyway,
Uh,
I do have to
uh,
bounce, guys, so I will leave it to you. Leave you guys to it. Can I jump out here? Bye,
yeah.
gang. I'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
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 All right. All right. Just me and Scott. How you feeling, Scott?
Good. 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 Yeah, I think we don't get creepy.
Anyways, yeah, great movie. Final thoughts. Great movie. I loved it. Like I texted you while I was watching it. It was like, oh, I forgot how fun this movie was. It's a really cool movie. It really kind of speaks to the time of lawlessness in New York, the dirtiness. What are your final thoughts about this movie, Scott? Or did you already say? Or
Yeah, I mean, my final thoughts are kind of, it's proof that you don't need a complicated story to make something
yeah,
unforgettable, right? Like you and I
yeah,
like to write. You don't need something that's complex and all these interwoven things. You just need a world that feels alive. You need characters who feel like they actually are trying to survive something. And a one sentence goal that you can't shake. Get home,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Every time I watch it, I feel like I'm right there with them. And you know, at the end of the day, uh, it's the plot is literally go home, which honestly at this age I relate to deeply. So I feel I feel very in place with the Warriors, and I can dig it.
Can you dig it? Can you imagine if we were in this movie? Like, oh man, what is it? A meeting at like midnight?
Yeah, it's
What's
like,
going
dude,
on?
are there gonna be seats? Where am I gonna park? How long did this train run?
Can we just video conference in? I
I
mean,
had,
is this?
I had to work earlier. It's a work day. Like, yeah, it's a Friday, but I'll still have gotten up at like 6.
Yeah.
I talking about if it could be made today. I came up with 5 modern gangs that would show up if there was a remake.
Oh, go ahead. I want to hear.
So number 1 would be the influenzas, right? And they got ring lights on carabiners. They're wearing athleisure suits. Everyone's holding their phone at chin height, like right here in front of them. And their battle cry is like and subscribe, like and subscribe.
Here I am at the gang summit. Oh,
Mhm.
it's yeah.
Uh, the
All right,
the
what's some other ones?
the crypto bros, right? They're wearing they got Oakleys, they got backwards hats, they got Patagonia vests. Uh, they're like
The
even though nothing's happening, they're just like, this is a
yeah.
sure thing. This is a sure
Yeah.
thing.
They're showing up in small towns and overtaking them. Just
Yep.
like
The vape
go ahead.
lords, where it's just these people just vaping. There's clouds of smoke, and they're jumping from the smoke of the vape to attack people.
Is that it? Do you have any more?
The other ones aren't very good, so I'll leave it with those 3.
Well, I have one that you
Go
didn't
for
do.
it.
The Karens, male and female. They'll just be in this gang, just going to store going, are you using a plastic straw? Just covering the city. Can't get away from them.
Mhm.
Yeah, those are great, man. I think we should make a sequel with those things now.
7 people will see it.
Yes. But everybody watching, everybody listening, thanks again for tuning in this week. Yeah, it was an honor talking about this movie. It's a pleasure talking about this movie. I love this movie. Go out and see it. Go out and rent it, buy it, whatever. I think you'll agree that this is kind of a movie that is very fun and not lighthearted, but it's a quick watch. It goes, like Toby said, it goes by really fast because it's just fun. And the music, the acting, everything is just top notch here. And Walter Hill is probably at his best here in this era. I think the next movie, he makes another movie, and then he makes 48 Hours with Eddie Murphy and Nick Nolte, which is something we should do on the channel here. But anyways, yeah, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and we'll see you guys again next week.